So, quick disclaimer. I don't align myself with no political party, and I definitely ain't using race to justify nothing I'm saying. I strictly care about what's wrong and what's right.
So, Warren, I'm going to ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan?
Right off the jump, that's a red flag. Tatum clipped that part from later in the video and thought it would actually clear this dude as a suspect in Nolan's death. But that should have been a two-part question. Did you murder Nolan, or do you have an idea what happened to him? If the dude answered no to both, then he would have cleared himself as a suspect and a witness.
Did you kill Nolan? All right, Warren, we had a chance to get to know each other over the last, 2 days. We went out to Horn Island. So I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things. And the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind.
Tatum just mentioned that him and Warren been kicking in and getting to know each other over the past 2 days, and that Warren shared some mind-blowing information. But usually during an interview, the host and the guest don't hang out for days beforehand. That kind of made me assume they rehearsed this whole interview, or that Warren was getting coached on what to say. But, hey, I'm curious to see what Warren said to blow Tatum's mind and what he's about to share concerning his involvement with Nolan.
Really blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But, you know, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, you know, get your side out here.
So I gotta ask, why do some of y'all jump straight to throwing out death threats in a situation like this, especially when there isn't even a clear suspect? Why not let the justice system charge somebody first and let the process play out? It would be different if somebody was caught red-handed or if the evidence was just overwhelming. I don't mess with threatening somebody who could end up being innocent, not involved, or found out guilty in court. Like, I personally wouldn't want to make somebody fear for their life over a crime they didn't even commit.
And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. We weren't talking about how him and Nolan grew up close friends from like elementary all the way to their freshman year of college. Even went as far as saying they were basically brothers. Then Tatum claims Nolan's mama said she didn't know any of those guys that Nolan was with the day he went missing. I searched the internet and attempted to find proof of her saying that, and the closest thing to that was the mother mentioning one young man claimed to be Nolan's childhood friend, but that was a stretch since they became friends around their freshman year of high school.
Guys.
Right. Well, Nolan a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies. And Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd go to Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, and like, hang out around us, but never, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot. But I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, anyone else. So
Now Warren claiming he never went to Nolan's house, but he swear their friend group is super tight. He said they hang out every single day when they back home from college, most weekdays, and every weekend. They even had a weekly Waffle House routine. Like, man, it's hard to buy that. Y'all were that close for years, but Nolan never mentioned your name to his mom, not once, or even around his mom. You think a close friend of many years would have been to the house at least once and met the mom somehow. And I know it can happen. I know it can happen. But I'm just saying it ain't like
anyone else. So
And walk me through the day of 4th of July where you guys were all going out.
right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of
Was
course.
it something that you guys did more than just this year? This is a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together? Did you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. Being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year. And,
so Warren did bring up that Nolan was out on the boat with them a year ago. But if you pay real close attention to that 4 minute and 13-second timestamp, right when Warren says they went last year and Nolan was on a boat with me, the audio and video was cut. Tatum and his team edited the video to make it seem like Warren said Nolan was on a boat with me last year. Why edit right in the middle of a sentence like that? It's just awkward, and it got me thinking again, like this interview was either rehearsed or they coaching him on what to say.
he was, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat. Not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, on the water, And Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. Huh?
Very, very big deal. And, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And, I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off.
Same thing again at the 5:46 mark. They cut the video right in the middle of Warren talking. Now, if I give Tatum and his team the benefit of the doubt, maybe they cut it because Warren was rambling and they wanted to shorten his statement. But when you edit in a real interview, you don't slice it up mid-sentence. You cut it at the end of the thought to clean up all the rambling. Seeing the video edited like that definitely got me on high alert about what's really being said and what's going on behind the scenes.
I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day.
When you
And
say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, or Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
we had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. It wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
He talking about roughly 20 to 30 people spread out across 3 boats. But if you don't even know how many people you got, how do you know everybody was accounted for when it was time to leave? Like, is it possible they straight up forgot about Nolan when it was time to ride out? Or even just left him stranded with no phone?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, I mean, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on, and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. Tatum asks which boat Warren was on and which boat Nolan was on. Warren said Nolan was riding on Wyatt's 22 Triton with 8 or 9 other people, while Warren was on a totally different boat. Tatum also brought up how people online were claiming Nolan originally went out with 3 or 4 guys on one boat, but if Warren telling the truth, that ain't what happened. And this is exactly why folks on social media and actual news channels need to sit back and wait on facts before running to the internet spreading cap. If y'all really want answers, stop muddying the waters with fake stories. Warren said it was 20 to 30 people total across 3 boats. Now, he seems like a smart young dude, and he remember a lot of tiny details that don't even really matter at this point. So I would think he knows the exact head count when those boats pulled off, especially by this point, because if my close friend ended up dead after hanging out with me and a large group of people, and folks were accusing me of knowing something, best believe I'm figuring out exactly who was on them boats, especially the boat my friend was on. Man, I have every single name and the number of people. Oh, and that'd be in a police report. No cap. Running straight to the police. Like, that's the most important information to clear his name and show he gives a damn about finding out what happened to his friend. And again, when it was time to leave, how you know y'all had everybody if you only roughly knew who showed up? You don't even know. Did y'all just leave him stranded out there with no phone? And by him, I mean no. Did y'all leave this man out there with no phone? I mean, I think it's a fair question to at least ask.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Is it like a big party? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up, because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island.
Of course not.
A few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there, there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles.
Yeah.
Of boat. When we went out there earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So do you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or just a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park, because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like every area of Horn Island is covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do? When I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spinning in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. Like, I mean, everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, all the drinks and food that they need, because, I mean, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up, because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. And then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, I mean, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women, You probably had alcohol.
Of
So
course,
y'all having a
yeah.
good time.
Yeah, of course.
Warren said they were just focused on getting everybody out of there safe. Now, I don't know if it's just me and as far as my upbringing and my military background, but I think getting everybody there safe starts with knowing exactly how many people you're transporting in the first place. They pulled up at 10:30 in the morning, and there was thousands of people out there. Warren dropping all these random details that don't matter unless he's trying to set the stage for his excuse early on. He made sure to mention how deep the water was where they tied up their boats. It was waist deep at the front of the boat. It was neck deep at the back of the boat. Like, why even bring that up unless you implying that has something to do with Nolan dying, such as him drowning? He says around 50 random people wandered over to that area. He also made sure to mention everybody was just drinking. Now, let's not rush past that. Nolan, Warren, and probably most of their friends are under the age of 21. What that mean? Meaning that they shouldn't have even been drinking in the first place. Check me out, check me out. I know what y'all saying. I was their age once. I'm not that naive, so I know we all did it. But it just feels like Warren is painting a picture so everybody thinks Nolan was just drunk, or he's at least implying that Nolan was just drunk because he did say something totally different, but he's implying that he was just drunk and that's what kind of led to his death. It feels like they are trying real hard to throw multiple excuses out there for why this young man not like why he's not alive anymore. Then you got Tatum jumping in trying to wrap up the day's events real fast. A group of college kids out on the island having a good time. Girls around, maybe drinking. Shut your big goof, man. But yeah, he trying to make it seem like the Nolan kid just was having a good time and was distracted. Even though he knew they were drinking for sure, he tried to downplay what was really going on. He trying to make it seem like Nolan was just out there having fun, chasing the girl, and got a little too drunk. Even though Warren said Nolan was drinking, but seeing totally fine and normal. And that's what I'm saying. You got Warren saying one thing, but kind of also implying another thing. So that one is kind of tricky. But we got to be careful when people feed us little crumbs like that, because those same crumbs are fed to us. So we'll be good and full when they actually give us their excuse.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, everybody my age and even people older than us were, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. Like, I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just I talked to Nolan, and, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon. Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan, and I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So
I'm catching this little slick stuff here and there, like Tatum saying Warren and his group seem to be the closest group on the island, as if Tatum knows the whole friend circle. He trying to imply Nolan was safe because those 20 to 30 people were super close. Tatum trying to be slick because later they gonna try to claim nobody in the group was involved, and if they knew something, they would tell it because they were super close.
Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you. I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's, just all, like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So.
Tatum mentions Warren told him a story about something interesting Nolan said, showing how close their friendship was and sharing what 4th of July meant to Nolan. Warren starts talking about a whole nother topic though. He started explaining Nolan's character and how he was always a nice and happy guy. And that's sweet and all, but it didn't answer the damn question. What did Nolan say to you that was so interesting and was that important for you to share it with Tatum? Tatum should have pressed him on that, but he just let it slide and move on. So hopefully later on they'll revisit that.
And then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And like explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying
Correct.
and they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So
Tatum throws it out there that Warren and his group left early, got there around 10 a.m., left around 4:30 p.m., making it seem like it was just a long day and they were tired, so they decided to leave. But then right after that, he says something happened while they were still on the island, and that's what forced them to leave. Tatum purposely ended part 1 of the interview on a cliffhanger so folks would be forced to watch part 2. And I ain't mad at his hustle. I know how the game goes. But let's be real. A lot of questions did not get answered. Even though the interview felt rehearsed, Warren didn't really say anything of substance to clear up what happened to Nolan. And I thought that was the most important thing, not just clearing itself. But we're starting to see. I also see part 2 is out. So I'm going to tap into that and give y'all my thoughts. So stay tuned. Drop y'all thoughts in the comment section, whether you agree or disagree. But I ask that y'all keep it respectful at least. At the end of the day, it's about getting the truth for 19-year-old Nolan Wells. Oh, and last thing, I want to point out about part 1 of this interview. Did Tatum's posture look normal to y'all? Because he slumped back, one leg kicked up, like he just having a casual kickback with one of his homies. To me, that ain't proper interview etiquette, especially when talking about clearing a young man's name, Warren, in a murder case, because the public say he had something to do with it, but also figuring out how a 19-year-old lost his life.